Hi, welcome. This is an episode of Ollas and garden update, dandelion foraging, and making some sourdough cinnamon rolls to celebrate the return of spring. Hey YouTube, so today we are gonna get the garden ready. So we're garden prepping. We haven't done much garden prep because it's still cold and we're just coming out of the winter still. So we're in Ontario and today we are gonna do like ollas, but homemade ollas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, they are like filters or like water systems to help feed the garden long term, like to keep it moist and not dry out the soil. So I have two garden beds that are here at my mommy's property, but then I have a few other community gardens, so, and I don't live at any of those properties, so I need to also try to make sure that they're staying nourished and moist while I'm away until I can get back there and, you know, water, take care of the garden beds. So this is one way I'm going to try to maintain them. Putting it from the bottom in so it doesn't fall out. Such a great find. And then this I'm gonna put the worms in and the compost so that they can come and go, travel throughout the garden, and I can constantly refill my compost into this. So I brought my compost and I'm going to spread it out. Place the little lid on top. We'll be using this. Let them do their thing. Put them in there. Do that. Okay. I also will be feeding the garden today. Oh, another wormy. Put them in there. Put these in here. So we have a lot of dandelions in the grass. Look how tall the grass is, y'all. We're gonna pick some. We're gonna collect some dandelions. They are scattered all over the front lawn. And let's identify it. The ones that are the false dandelions, there's multiple growing on one stem. And there should just be one stem to a dandelion. And those leaves that are coming down, that is the identification of a true dandelion. Another identifying feature of the dandelion is this leaf. It looks like a lion's tooth. Do you see that? It looks like teeth, jagged teeth. That is kind of like, you know, resembling of the dandelion. So I'm going to take the scraps, the leftovers of the dandelion that I won't be using, and I'm going to return it into our garden bed. This is our garden. So we're going to plant one olla here and one composting worm. I'm not sure where, maybe right in the middle there. This is our herbal garden bed. And over here is more of the vegetation, vegetables. And we have our red raspberry here coming in. We could have some red raspberry tea. This DIY olla was made using materials sourced from the dollar store. I don't know if you know what this is, but if you look online, they can be quite pricey. We decided to try using ollas in our garden beds since we don't live close by, and we're hoping they'll help maintain moisture for our soil and plants between visits. Instead of water evaporating from the surface before reaching the roots, ollas slowly release water directly into the root system, keeping the soil consistently moist and helping plants and soil thrive. Purple flowers should come soon. My husband brought some cabbage, so we're gonna plant some cabbage. He also brought these raspberries. We're not gonna leave them there. He brought 2. Yarrow that we were thinking of planting in the ground. Look, we got lots of yarrow, y'all. I'm actually gonna take that one out and plant it in a bucket bin. I just have to go get one because look, it's taken over. I'm currently reading the book Animal Vegetable Miracle, and I am greatly inspired by her words. I never really thought about, how disconnected the food system is, especially for like colder climate countries. But one of the quotes from this book that I will share is, "Citizens of frosty worlds, unite and think about marching past the off-season fruits. You have nothing to lose, but mealy, juiceless, rock hard, and refusing to ripen." I read that and I was like, this is so true. Like, how can we nourish our bodies without depending on all of this foreign food? Because really, it has to go through a lot to reach us, and not all of it is great. So I am very inspired to take a local food sabbatical, as this author's term.
Like, what the fuck? Hey, look, what's this? We can't look like that, man. As deep as that. Because when you leave it like this, it's gonna be and be a lean. Like, you want them to be covered up right underneath. You don't want them to be like, lean. You want them to go straight so the cabbage just go and tree just go and fall down, Whoa!
No, I don't want no grass. This is invasive. It's invasive. They wanted us to waste our time cutting it and maintaining it. Okay, so the nettle is popping up. Look at that nettle. Look at it. It's coming in. She is coming in. This is where the motherwort was last season, but I don't think she likes it here because she's not coming back in. And we already have the one brewing in the garden, so I'm gonna leave her. Yeah. Okay. Let's check on the olla. So see, the water is still in there from last night. Alright, so we are also making some sourdough cinnamon rolls. This is my first time doing this recipe and they turned out delicious. I started the night before. I always let the dough ferment on the counter overnight. And I made these for a spring celebration that my friend was hosting. It was by the river at her property, and it was just so nice to gather to talk, connect, and share food. Go ahead and melt butter and apply it all over the surface of the dough, and then add on your cinnamon and brown sugar. I just used one bowl and mixed the cinnamon and brown sugar and then spread it all over evenly on the surface. And then go ahead and slice your cinnamon rolls however thick you want. And you're going to set them aside for around 2 hours. I covered and put in the fridge. This is them after the 2 hours. And then you will want to add in some heavy, thick cream. That is a key ingredient to keeping these moist and fluffy. And then I also added a streusel topping. I find that this just always brings up a baked dish to the next level, so you can opt out of this, but I recommend adding a streusel topping. And then go ahead and preheat oven to 375 degrees, and I think these baked roughly for around 25 to 30 minutes, and just keeping an eye on them until they are golden and done in the middle. And then we're gonna make some buttercream frosting. This is the only frosting that I really like, is using butter. So I'm using 2 packets of butter. They're not sticks, so I didn't really measure this. I just threw in some butter and topped it up with icing sugar, and I didn't put a lot of icing sugar in as I don't like it super sweet. So just play around with this part. It is super easy, and spread it over the cooked cinnamon buns after they cool, and that is that. This was so delicious, and I think everyone enjoyed them. It's returning to the roots, as you may say. But this is Sovereign Bloom. You can find me over on YouTube and TikTok on almost posting something daily, something little or something silly, or just little snippets of our day. And until next time, much love.